Challenges and Sustainability Unit, I've learned that creating policies steeped in scientific evidence is not all that easy. The National Innovation and Science Agenda report, published in 2015, underlines that innovation is so important to every sector of the economy. As I've learned, innovations, technologies, and emerging scientific research are actually invaluable to policymakers too, as backing policies up with evidence will ensure that policies are actually relevant and will be successful. But often, experts from the two disciplines of science and policymaking might as well speak different languages. For me, with a background in and passion for communication, I'm sure these learnings will help me break down communication barriers between scientists and policymakers in my future career. At my current job, I'm actually already starting to do so, as I need to be able to communicate clearly about solar installation programs for pensioners, for example, with the community. So I've had to learn to adapt my language to different audiences. In terms of applying evidence to writing a report with recommendations for policymakers, I've discovered that, as the APS 200 report points out, a systematic approach is fundamental. And this is because incorporating evidence into policy recommendations is so complex. Inevitably, biases will come into play. And that's why it's so important to be transparent in outlining the process that you've undertaken to review evidence. So for example, when I systematically reviewed evidence for the potential for energy efficient and renewable energy technologies to reap benefits to the Australian economy, I discovered a lot of evidence that pointed to Europe's successes in their uptake of renewables. So I was really conscious of being transparent to underline that, yes, I did find evidence, but not all of it relates to Australia. So I made sure not to present the evidence in a way that might be misleading to the reader. Incorporating evidence into recommendations for decision makers also necessitates looking into possible risks and future scenarios of a given policy recommendation, as the Wildlife Conservation Society outlines. But imagining future scenarios is really difficult by nature, and all the more difficult to incorporate evidence into future scenarios. That's why I found it really important and useful to use a scenario planning tool and a risk matrix to flesh out what risks might be involved. Like, for example, impeding on Australian businesses or creating problems in the market for energy efficient technologies. Most importantly, I'll be able to apply these tools in my future career to make decisions and provide recommendations that all have scientific evidence to back them up. Thank you.